Hey guys, Delta Canuckian here, and I got some Resistance 3 beta gameplay for you, and this is the first time I'm doing a commentary over it, and I'm going to share my overall impressions of the beta the last, I guess, 2-3 weeks it's been up, and that I've been playing it. It's been available to, whoever got an invite from Insomniac for a while now, and it's been available to SOCOM 4 owners since, I believe, the 4th of the month. Anyways, I'm going to get into just my impressions of it, starting with the weapons, and that is by saying the weapons are pretty badass, as you've seen. You have a shotgun that can shoot incendiary rounds, and it packs a serious punch. I remember all the build-up to Call of Duty Black Ops and seeing the Spaz 12 being used with the Dragon's Breath rounds, and those were pretty badass to use in the campaign, but of course, you don't get to use it in the multiplayer, which, kind of disappointed me because it was freaking badass looking. He was just like, yeah, you get to shoot fucking rounds that set dudes on fire. Who doesn't want to do that? So, if you were looking forward to that, in Black Ops, here you go. This is your chance. You're going to get this powerful-ass shotgun that shoots a fire grenade as well, and, just wreck people with it. Also, the Auger, 6 kill streak, which is actually harder to obtain than you may think, at least at this point. I'm sure after a few months of this game being out, guys will be getting it like that, like it's nothing. And then it might become a problem because you can shoot through walls, but I don't see why it would be. Actually, yeah, you know what, that would cause a problem because it's a kill streak, whereas in Resistance 2 everyone could use it, so you couldn't really complain about that. But anyways, the weapons are pretty badass. I'm still not a fan of the carbine. I still prefer the bullseye, but, that is my opinion. The next big plus on here is the weapon wheel is back. This was more for the single player than the multiplayer, that this was more important in my opinion. But yes, this is back. This is one of the really cool things about both Ratchet & Clank and Resistance, the two big series that Insomniac develops, is that they have all these cool weapons and that you get to use all of them. You get to carry all of them. Whereas in Resistance 2, they changed it up and you could only carry 2 weapons, and that was kind of lame because then you'd have to drop one of your awesome weapons to pick up another awesome weapon. And while they did a good job making the weapons you'd actually need at that time available, it still kind of, brought down the overall experience. And to be honest, I did not like Resistance 2 very much. I'm not happy I bought it, to say the least. But that is why I have some hope now after this beta. It's giving me some hope. The weapon wheel is a great thing. I'm glad that's back. And as you can see, you can pick up weapons as you're going around playing in a match, and of course it resets whenever you die. So if you're really good, you stay alive for a long time. Who knows, right? You could pick up like every weapon and just be running around with a full arsenal. That'd be pretty badass in my opinion. First negative on my list is the sprinting. There's just way too much motion blur and bobbing and the weird field of view change. As you can see when I sprint, it zooms in a bit. It throws you off, and there's been tons of people complaining about it making them sick. It's affected me as well, though I've gotten a little more used to it. It's definitely an issue I'd like to see tweaked, whether it's I don't know how Insomniac would do it, but I think it should be a combination of turning down the motion blur effects a little bit and just getting rid of that zoom. I don't have so much of an issue with the bobbing per se. It's just the zoom and the motion blur that's just really, throwing me off. So yeah, that's the first negative. Just it's really, really awkward, the sprinting compared to other games. And the worst comments I've seen on the beta forums is some guy going off calling everyone Call of Duty fanboys because we can't get used to anything other than the smooth running, and apparently it's that's unrealistic. Okay, yeah, it's unrealistic, but still, just because it doesn't bother you, it's bothering a ton of people. It's disorienting. It's making them feel sick. That's an issue. That's something that Insomniac has to address. That's sure, you have a large number of people that are fun, but then you also have a large number of people that are affected by it. You have to try and make your game accessible to the masses, really, right? So that means if you have to tone down some of these effects a bit to make it so people aren't getting sick, I don't see what the big deal is. Next is the graphics, and these are a huge, huge step up from both Resistance Fallen Man and Resistance 2. Of course, you know, newer game, a number of years in between, but, you know, Resistance Fallen Man, good-looking game for a launch title. Resistance 2, not so good-looking. It was okay. I guess it could pass off as a multi-platform game, but it did not really have that standard of quality you see from a lot of PlayStation 3 exclusives like God of War, Killzone. It was on the tip of my tongue, but I forgot the name of the game. I was going to say Gran Turismo, even though apparently that actually didn't end up looking that good. So bad example, but, you know, you know what I'm saying. Metal Gear Solid 4, Killzone, just all these top games, Little Big Planet, that you see just these spectacular graphics, you know, it wasn't up to those standards. While this is still not, it's still not Killzone 3 or Killzone... I think Killzone 2 is better looking than Killzone 3. It's still not Killzone level. It is definitely better than the multiplats you'll see. It's definitely up the quality. And I like the kind of coloring of everything. Just the design of it. It definitely comes off having that Resistance feel, but also I think being more of that survival horror type thing that I really want to see more of from Resistance. I just want to see it more, maybe not so much survival horror, but action horror. I just want it to play on those horror elements more specifically in the campaign than it has in the past. So yeah, big thumbs up to the graphics, huge improvement, though as I've mentioned with the sprinting stuff, the motion blur is a little disorienting. Though I don't think that's such a huge deal to get fixed. Minor tweak, right? Next minus is to the servers, which, you know, were fine in the closed beta stages, but as soon as the beta hit an open stage with SOCOM 4 owners getting in, everything went to hell. Matchmaking was turned off for like a week. Stats were reset. And what worries me about this is the fact that, okay, it's SOCOM 4 owners that are coming in. You know the sales of SOCOM 4. You can estimate like the maximum number of people that are coming in and prepare the servers to hold that many people. And I understand that in a beta you want to test the servers. But come on. To have it fuck up that badly for so many glitches to come out at this time, it was just terrible. It was, like I said, the beta was unplayable for a week. Matchmaking was turned off because it didn't work. Basically what you had to do is, if you had other buddies playing the beta and they could start a private match and you could go in and join them through that. That was the only way to play the beta for almost a week. It was just, and I think that killed a lot of the momentum it was building up with a fairly good beta at that point. And that's what's kind of brought my opinion back down. I was thinking, hey, this is going to be a really good game. This has brought my hope back, you know, etc., etc. And it just, you know, it didn't go so well, in my opinion. It's thrown it back. But the big thing I have to say is the support that Insomniac has been giving this beta. This is not like some of the betas you've seen out there. We're like, here, let's throw it. We're calling it a beta, but it's a demo, right? They just want to this. It's a demo. It's a free advertisement, that type thing. You know, released a week before the game comes out. They're not going to change anything. Whereas this, there's a lot of time till release. Right, this beta started up in, I believe, was it the end of July that it started up? And the game doesn't come out till September. There's plenty of time to fix things up before. I think the game's already gone gold, so I think the majority of it's going to be through a day one patch anyways. But there's plenty of time to fix things up. And they've just been, you know, constantly communicating on Facebook, on Twitter, on their forums, saying, you know, what they're changing, how long it's going to take, tons of patches. The beta's already on version 2.02, right? It's, and I guess it's not necessarily a good thing when you have to patch something that many times, but, you know, it is a beta, and they're supporting it, and I hope there's that same level of support with the full game, including DLC, because, let's face it, the DLC for Resistance 2 was lame. It was a map pack with, a couple maps that I didn't particularly like, and some skins, and I don't know why I bought it back then, but I did.
but the DLC was lame. They dropped support, and that's, I think, partially because Resistance 2 was not very good online. There were no ranked matches. Everyone stopped playing those, and it was all private matches. Because I guess everyone wanted to use the server browser. I don't know. I like the server browser. I don't know why they wouldn't use it for ranked matches like Killzone 2, but, you know, that's just the way games are going. But yeah, that's what's going on. The next big complaint I have is the bubble shield on the chain reaction game mode, which is similar to Domination from Call of Duty. You capture points, and what guys are basically doing is they go sit right on the objective, pop up a bubble shield, and you cannot kill them unless you try to walk into their shield. And the problem with that is, if you're a smart player, you're using the bubble shield and the Rossmore shotgun, and as you've seen, that is that's going to just wreck anything that comes within like 5 feet of you. So it's becoming a major annoyance. I don't know what you could really do about that short of removing the ability, and I think that's going too far. So we'll see how that plays out through the rest of the beta and the inevitable release. But I'm not too thrilled with how that's going. And the next big thing I'm going to complain about is just the map design on the map Train Yard. The battles always take place in one small corner of the map. Basically, I've never really seen it extend beyond there. It's just the rest of the map is so terribly designed, in my opinion, and it's almost always empty. And here I am just raping with the auger, so now you can see what my worries are there. But yeah, those are basically my thoughts. A little bit left in this video, so I'll talk about a couple more things. And one of the big things for me is, you know, how much lasting appeal is this game going to have? They've obviously tweaked the beta and the unlocking system so you could get basically everything in the beta unlocked, and it'll be different than that in the full release. It'll take longer to unlock things, which is good. But you know, how much lasting appeal will this game have? How many maps? You know, how many game modes? How many unlockables? How much fun is it going to be? That type of stuff. You know, is it going to have like one of these strong releases and then die off after that? You know, I don't know. I really don't know. I think it's definitely going to have its hardcore fan base coming over from Resistance 2. I think it's definitely improved from Resistance 2. Fans of the original Resistance, like myself, will definitely enjoy it more than Resistance 2, in my opinion. But will it be kind of one of those kings of the FPS genre, like Call of Duty or Battlefield, or, you know, I'd include Killzone in there now, because Killzone 3 is still pretty popular, and it's more accessible. You know, I really don't know. But to me, I'm going to be more interested in this game for the single player than the multiplayer, and if the multiplayer is good, you know, it's a bonus. So, that just what does it for this video. Anyways, I'm Delta Canuckian. Remember to follow me on Twitter, and if you like the video, give it a like, and drop a comment, subscribe if you want, all that good stuff. Did I say follow me on Twitter? I don't remember. My memory's failing me already. Jesus, that's bad. Anyways, see you guys.